On an adjusted EPS basis, 114, estimate 103. The numbers are strong. Your outlook is a little bit cautious, and costs is a huge factor behind what is happening with the business right now. What kind of an inflation rate are you seeing?
Guy, great to be with you. What we're seeing is a pervasive amount of inflation across the board, varying by countries, obviously. As you look at the United States, we're looking at the first half of the year being about a 5%, the second half of the year rising to about 7% of total input costs. And when you look at that and you add in freight, labor shortages, we're seeing a cost environment more challenging than we've seen in the better part of 10 years. So it's quite significant.
Well, talk to us then about the retail partner conversation that you're having about passing through those costs and what you think the tipping point is into it's just being too expensive for people to want to buy.
Yeah, Alex, so, I gave you the numbers, but our line of first defense always is productivity. And how much can we eliminate inefficiencies in our whole process, end to end, with our retail partners? And then when we talk to our retailers, we talk at Kellogg about the right to earn value in the marketplace, the right to earn price. So even as commodities rise and we pass those through, we net that off against our productivity gains, but we're constantly investing in our brands, in innovation, in new product development to make sure that we're earning the right to be on those shelves and there are velocities off those shelves, even if prices are rising slightly, gives us the right to be there. And so those are the types of conversations we have with our retail partners. It's really about a partnership to give the best possible value that we can to consumers, because look, nobody wants to raise prices, but in an environment like this, it's kind of an inescapable conclusion that prices are on the rise.
Steve, if people don't get wage rises, I'm assuming at some point they're going to have to trade down, though. Is that a legitimate scenario? Do you worry about that scenario?
We always look at what our price gap is versus competition, versus private label, versus anything at all that's out there. The business that we're in the business of affordable breakfast foods, affordable snacking foods, and affordability in the United States and all around the world is a paramount value for us. And so I think, we're always constructively paranoid about making sure that we're giving that value equation to consumers. Now, having said that, the consumer is in a surprisingly good state right now in the United States, despite all these challenges. A lot of the stimulus money that's gone out there, a lot of the wage rate inflation that we've seen. So even as prices are going up, the consumer is in probably a very good position to absorb that.
Constructively paranoid. I like that. I'm going to steal that phrase. Talk to me about going forward with the middle of the Delta variant, return to office, et cetera. Are you changing your plans? What are you doing with vaccines?
Yeah, so I would tell you that just a few short weeks ago, we had plans in place post-Labor Day to be more encouraging about our office environment and trying to get people to encourage them to come back. The Delta variant has changed all that. The new CDC guidelines has changed all that. And so our offices are open by and large, but really it comes down to giving people the choice, having the safety protocols in place, following CDC guidelines by geography. But we're not yet in a position where we're going to be pushing and encouraging more in-office work. We'll just have to take it day by day, week by week, and follow the CDC guidelines, follow the science, and hopefully, in the not too distant future, have more of a hybrid environment.
Steve, what are you doing on vaccines? What requirements are you making?
So we're not making requirements right now, Guy, but what we are doing is encouraging very strongly for our associates to get the vaccine. And we're bringing in outside experts to provide, research, guidance, education, to do everything that we can to encourage our population to get vaccinated, because we do believe the science supports that it's the safest and best way out of this pandemic for all of us.
Steve, along those lines, when you take a look at demand, are you noticing any change in product? Like, are people buying the stuff they're going to buy when they go back to the office, or are people buying the stuff they're going to buy when they stay home?
It's a great question. I think we're in a fluid environment right now because the mobility has definitely increased and continues to increase quite substantially. And so a lot of our on-the-go occasions and our mobility occasions are rising. So think about, small size single serve packs. But at the same time, the area of mobility that is not yet returning to normal is the office environment. And so there's still a lot of at-home meal occasions that are elevated versus 2019. So our away from home business is not quite back to where it was in 2019, but it's much better than 2020. Our at-home occasions are better than they were in 2019, but down from 2020. So it's kind of in the middle right now.